I want to talk tonight about an aspect of trauma that we're really beginning to understand better, and a lot of research is being done on it. And it's just how trauma affects your relationship with your body. So, most people with complex trauma find out as they get greater self awareness is that they have a very conflicted relationship with their body. So, let me just read you a couple quotes that will set the stage for what we're going to say. When you have an overwhelming experience, your logical mind might get over it before your body does. In other words, people can resolve traumatic experiences often in their brain long before their body resolves it. It still continues in their body. Bessel van der Kolk, pioneer of much of trauma understanding today, has said this: for many, trauma comes back first as a reaction in your body, not a memory. And so your brain doesn't even have the memory, but your body's reacting to stuff. So trauma isn't just in your head. Trauma leaves a lasting imprint on your body. It disrupts your memory, storage processes, and changes the way your brain works. Trauma left untreated can have a big impact on your future health. Trauma can lead to physical and emotional distress, which can lead to more serious health conditions such as heart attack, stroke, obesity, diabetes, and cancer. A computer that has more than one virus will have even more glitches, and the same thing goes for multiple traumas. The more adverse childhood experiences, or ACEs, a person has had, the more glitches are likely to occur later in life. And then someone has said this: when trauma is particularly severe or chronic, individuals report being ungrounded, unable to identify emotions, and we talk about that a lot, so dissociation, and disconnected from others. The overpowering sensations of traumatic stress result in feeling unsafe in one's own body and a lack of self-agency and boundaries to prevent further trauma. So not only do you have the past trauma that makes you feel unsafe in your body, but that trauma affected you in such a way that you don't know how to protect yourself in the future. Individuals report feeling too much, so they're overwhelmed or activated, or too little. They're numb, withdrawn, lethargic, frozen. The body-mind states that make a somatic focus difficult and often uncomfortable. In other words, trauma can affect your body by causing it to be oversensitive or undersensitive, dissociated from your body, or hyper alert to your body. Now, we've talked in the past about ongoing cortisol and how it negatively affects your brain, your immune system, but it also begins to affect all your body stuff, your organs, so diseases from stress-related stuff. And so some of the symptoms of too much cortisol on an ongoing basis: low energy, headaches, upset stomach, including diarrhea, constipation, IBS, nausea, aches, pains, tense muscles, chest pain and rapid heartbeat, frequent colds and infections, loss of sexual desire or ability, nervousness and shaking, ringing in the ears, cold or sweaty hands and feet, dry mouth and a hard time swallowing, insomnia, clenched jaw, or grinding teeth. So let me explore a bunch of different ways that trauma can affect the body. And we've looked at some of these in the past, so I'm not going to go into that in detail. I want to develop some of the newer research and just help you see what we're beginning to understand. So we've talked in the past that much of complex trauma is experienced by a child and infant in a pre-verbal state. So their brain doesn't have words to put to the feelings, their emotions, they can't put words to the emotions. And so the body isn't able to process all of the trauma that's happening. And as a result, the brain can't resolve it. And so it stores the trauma in the body. And it stores it as physical pain, physical sensation. You feel it in your muscles, in your certain parts of your body. You get headaches, you get gut aches, chest aches, all kinds of different body sensations. What we also know about trauma is this, that trauma decreases activity in the area of the brain that is responsible for language. So it affects how memories are stored in the brain. So they're stored without language. So now the memory is experienced not so much with details, but as a visual memory or a visceral memory. You feel it in the body. The other thing that we've seen is that trauma affects your five senses. And so many people with trauma are very sensitive to sound, light, or touch. So they are hypersensitive to light, to touch, to sound, and that affects their sleep, that affects their ability to be in social settings. It can have a very debilitating effect. The other thing we've looked at regularly is trauma and its effect on dysregulation. So that a person now is hyper aroused, they have a startle response so that they overreact to a sound, to somebody touching them. The flip side of that is not they can be hypersensitive to pain, to sound, to touch, but they can also be undersensitive. They don't feel pain. And so now their body, they're out of touch with what is going on in their body. So it's not just that they're dysregulated by it, but they don't even feel it. Now, the one I want to start to focus on in more detail is what we call body dysmorphic disorder. And so it's a condition in which you can't stop thinking about one or more perceived defects or flaws in your appearance, a flaw that appears minor or can't even be seen by others. You may feel so embarrassed, ashamed, and anxious that you may avoid many social situations. So here's some of the signs or symptoms of body dysmorphic disorder. So you're extremely preoccupied with a perceived flaw in your appearance that to others can't be seen or appears minor. Secondly, you have a strong belief that you have a defect in your appearance that makes you ugly or deformed. Or you have a belief that others take special notice of your appearance in a negative way and mock you. Or you attempt to hide your perceived flaws with styling, makeup, or clothes. You engage in behaviors aimed at fixing or hiding the perceived flaw that are difficult to resist or control, such as frequently checking the mirror, grooming, or skin picking. You're constantly comparing your appearance with others. You're frequently seeking reassurance about your appearance from others. You have perfectionist tendencies, especially in relation to your appearance. You seek cosmetic procedures, but with little satisfaction. And you avoid social situations. So if you have most of those, then you would probably be diagnosed with body dysmorphic disorder. So you do not have a relationship of acceptance or being happy about your body. What are the causes of this body dysmorphic disorder? And this, to me, it's all trauma, complex trauma based. So some aspect of your body you were teased about, made fun of, or it was criticized when you were a child. Or your family had a belief that about the body, that there's a certain type of perfect body, and your mom might have portrayed that, communicated that in all kinds of different ways, or that you needed a certain body type to be sexy or to be manly or to be pretty. Or you might have been taught by your religion that the body is evil. It's a source of your problems. And so you just hated your body because of that teaching. Or you grew up in a very sexualized culture, and it could even be in movies. It could be just in the way men treated you, in the way other friends treated you, but they presented that there's a standard on how the female body should be. in order to be good enough as a female. Or sexual abuse can create this, that you now hate your body because it gets you unwanted attention. Or gender confusion, and this to me is very significant, is that you have always felt that you're in the wrong body. You have the genitalia, let's say, of a man, but you feel and know that you are a woman. And so there's that gender confusion that causes you to have a relationship with your body that's discordant. Or you're in constant chronic pain. So you just hate your body. Your body's a prison of pain for you. Or you have a body that just doesn't function properly. You have a chronic illness, a physical handicap, and those greatly limit what you can do and cause you to hate your body. So all of those can result in this body dysmorphic disorder. So how do people respond often when they have this disorder to their body? So some engage in self-harm. They hate their body, they're going to punish their body. Others, eating disorders. So I don't want to be pretty, so I'm going to eat. And eating is going to take away my physical characteristics that cause me to get unwanted attention. But what is so common and happens so often is that people become no longer present to their body. They don't like their body. They don't want to be in this body. So they don't listen to their body. They get out of touch with their body. They disconnect from their body. And I'm going to expand on that later. Others just don't take care of their body. Others become a walking head. They don't want to connect to their emotions or their body. They just want to live in their head, be a thinker, be analytical, to learn, to solve everything just with academic thinking. But then there's the flip side. Others begin to think their body is their greatest source of value. Others then, on the flip side of that, see their body as their greatest source of shame. So you can go one extreme to another. You hate your body, it just causes you shame, it feeds your shame, or your body is what gives you value, and so you become constantly self-conscious about your body. You can be embarrassed about your body if it's a shame. You wear big clothes, you avoid shame settings, you engage in fantasy lies that if only I had the perfect body, it would solve everything. It would make me likable, popular, it would get me respect, and people go down that road. Or you become obsessed with having the perfect body. Now, a lot of people, what is important to understand here is there's a healthy part of what I'm going to talk about and an unhealthy part. So it's so important in taking care of our body to have good nutrition, to have good exercise, a good diet. But others take it too far. They become obsessed with nutrition, exercise, diet. They even go to plastic surgery. And so what I want you to see is that exercise, nutrition, diet, all of that is one piece of a 1,000-piece puzzle in becoming healthy. But what is happening with people with body dysmorphia is they're seeing it as the only piece of the puzzle. That if they could just have perfect nutrition, perfect diet, constant exercise, they'd end up with a perfect body, that would solve all their problems.